Hello, this is Lindsay Sneller with 4 Weeks Fit and the Plant-Based Power Couple, and today we're going to talk about performance nutrition. You might think that this is something you don't need, but we are coming on just about the end of our 4 weeks, and if you've been consistently doing workouts, you are an athlete. And so performance nutrition is really, really important. And it's important because really in changing our body composition and adding more muscle to our bodies, nutrition plays a bigger role than actually what we do in the gym. And this is a very misunderstood concept. I see people all the time just working so hard in the gym and then either undoing it with what they do or don't do with nutrition or just completely sabotaging it. So it's not only important what we eat, but the timing of everything is really important too, in that we can, refuel our body, fuel our body for workouts and then refuel them afterwards so that we can most efficiently burn fat and build muscle. And that is why I love Isagenix and why I endorse it and use it and recommend it to everybody, because they make all of this so easy. So really, what we do in our plan, and you've noticed, if maybe you've noticed throughout this 4 weeks, is that we are kind of spacing our meals and our food throughout the day. And that is because it helps our body to better absorb nutrients if it's evenly spaced throughout the day. In terms of athlete nutrition or performance nutrition, you might hear a term called protein pacing. And protein pacing is basically just spacing your protein in regular intervals throughout the day so that our bodies can properly assimilate and absorb it. Protein is something that, a lot of people talk about nowadays. It is a necessary something for our bodies in order to build muscles. Protein is literally the building blocks of our muscles. It's what our muscles are built out of. And muscle growth can really only happen if protein synthesis, so synthesizing the proteins that we eat and putting into our bodies, exceeds that of what we're actually doing and tearing down in the gym. Because anytime we go and we work out, we are actually tearing down our muscles. They build afterwards in the protein synthesis. So we have to put those amino acids and those proteins back into our bodies so that we can actually build muscle from all the hard work we put in the gym. And this is where I get so frustrated when I see people who go and work out 2-3 hours in the gym and then don't eat right away afterwards, or don't eat the right things afterwards. And then it's like, that is why you're not getting results. It's not because you're not putting in the work and you're not putting in the effort. And if you're going to put in the work and the effort, then put in just a little bit more work and effort in what you're doing before and after nutrition wise. So protein pacing is, like I said, when we space that protein out evenly throughout the day. And for me, I space it out. I have 6 meals a day, basically. And about 20 to 30 grams is what our bodies are able to assimilate all at once. And so, what most people will do if they don't have a really good plan is, they get busy throughout the days, they skip meals, they go hit the gym on the way home from work, or even, they're going to the gym before work or in their lunch hour, and then they kind of tend to consume all of their protein in their dinner meal, and we're really only assimilating about 20 grams of that protein, no matter what we're putting into our bodies. So if we evenly space it out, then we're absorbing it all day long, and we're fueling our muscles all day long for muscle growth. Also, the one thing that I want you to know is that as we get older, our bodies need more and more and more protein to build muscle, because muscle just naturally breaks down as we age. So if we want to even stay the same, we have to be consuming more protein so our bodies can even stay the same, let alone build and grow muscle. And so for me, why I like to use Isagenix, because it makes that protein pacing really, really, really simple and easy for me. Basically, what I have is 2 of their protein shakes. I do the dairy-free. There's a whey-based one, but I do this one. I'm dairy-free. I follow a completely vegan, plant-based diet, so I use this one. 2 of those a day. I have 2 snacks, always have proteins in my snacks, and then 2 meals. So I usually go like shake, snack, meal, shake, snack, meal. That's how my day goes. And this just makes it super, super simple to be getting it in there. The other thing that Isagenix does outside of this is with the cleansing piece, when we are adding that in, we are actually making it so that our body can properly absorb all the good nutrition that we're putting in. So, you know, if we have dirty cells, dirty organs, they're not able to properly assimilate and absorb what we're putting in. And that cleansing piece that Isagenix weaves in allows us to properly absorb that. And then our body composition changes a whole lot quicker. For protein, that is what I use just to simplify. It's my Isoline shake. That's my easy button. You know, if you are using another protein shake, or if maybe you're just making your protein meals throughout the day, totally fine, but that is my easy button. The other thing, nutrient-wise, for athletes, electrolytes. So anytime we are working out and sweating, we are losing electrolytes within our bodies, and sodium and potassium is what those electrolytes are, and they help to maintain balance and regulate our pH levels so that, you know, our damaged tissue and nerve and muscle can function properly when we put that back in. So really, really important to maintain that. And, you know, you'll see people who will be in like a really long endurance race and they just can't even like assimilate water anymore. That's because their electrolyte balance has been thrown off because they have just been sweating too much. So, quite often you'll hear of like Gatorade being used. Isagenix has Amped Hydrate. That is their version of Gatorade. It's just a little bit cleaner version in my mind. There's nothing artificial in here. There's no added sugars or anything. Well, I shouldn't say that there's no artificial sugars. There is sugar in here in the form of honey, fructose, so from fruit, and a little bit of sugar because that allows our body to have quick carbs to pull from while we're working out. Super important so that our body doesn't pull from our muscles for energy. It uses those quick carbs. But it's also loaded with a ton of vitamins, minerals, microminerals, micronutrients. So things that we aren't probably getting in our diet, things like zinc and thiamine, those sorts of things. Really, really important. This is a daily staple for me, not only when I'm working out, but just literally every single day, no matter what, especially because I live in Colorado and it can tend to be really, really dry here. So it's really, really important to keep our body hydrated. The next thing that I use pre-workout, so before I work out, I always have a product called Amped Power. And this is creatine, nitrazine, and citrulline. And basically creatine can sound kind of scary. I think, you know, maybe back in the 80s, 90s, it got like a really bad rap because you were hearing of like all these like crazy bodybuilders that were creatine loading. That is not what this is at all. And creatine is probably one of the most widely studied performance products on the market. It is absolutely safe to use in the right amounts as long as we're not overloading our bodies. In fact, there really hasn't been any studies to show anything that is damaging with creatine. And in fact, especially for women, creatine is a very, very, very important essential nutrient that we need for brain health. So even if you aren't an athlete, this is something that you could still be taking on a daily basis just to obtain and maintain really, really healthy brain health. So creatine, all the creatine, the nitrazine, and the citrulline, what it does is those three things work together to easily provide nutrients into our muscles. So basically, the more nutrients that are being pumped into our muscles, the harder our muscles can work and the more effort we can put into each and every workout. So this just helps you to get more out of your workouts, and it helps to just give you a little bit more, I don't want to say energy because it It's nothing that's going to make you feel jittery or anything like that. It's just going to allow your muscles to push a little bit harder during your workouts. Basically, you will fatigue at a slower rate using this than you would if you didn't. And, I get a lot of comments all the time about my shoulders and my arms and my upper back. And, like, how did you do that? It's not because I spend hours and hours and hours a day in the gym. Literally, this is the product that changed my body composition. Now, I was really, really watching my nutrition and using the whole entire isogenic system, but it was when this product came out that my body composition really changed. And I think because it just gave me that extra little boost to push a little bit harder in my workouts and to really fuel my muscles in the right way. So this is something that I have. It's creatine. And the thing that I like about this is it's plant-based creatine. So because I follow a vegan diet, creatine until this product existed wasn't something that I could take from any other company, because every single other company out there sources their creatine from animals. So it usually comes from meat and from fish. This one actually is sourced from legumes. So I can take it on my plant-based diet. So that's what I really like about that. And creatine is something that we don't really get a ton of in our diet naturally. So it is something that we really do need to supplement with. And if you haven't ever tried it, this is an amazing one. There's nothing in here artificial. Again, we don't put anything artificial in there, and it's nothing that's going to make you feel like jittery and crazy or anything like that. It doesn't have any stimulants at all. Now, they do have another product that I don't use, but you could, and it is called Nitro. And it's basically amped power with 100 milligrams of caffeine in it. So if you are someone that likes to have caffeine before you work out, that is something that could be an option for you. Again, even the Nitro with the caffeine, it's not anything that's going to make you feel jittery or shaky or anything like that. It's not going to like amp you up. It's just going to give you a little more output into your workout. So that is what I have about 20 minutes before my workout every single time I work out. And then during my workouts all the time, really important during our workouts that we are providing our muscles with something to pull from so that they're not constantly just breaking down. And what we need to be giving our muscles are those branched chain amino acids. So those amino acids are actually what actually go into our muscles, because we break down the amino acids when we work out. We got to put them back in so that our bodies can actually build muscle back up. And it triggers something called the mTOR pathway, which is basically protein synthesis and muscle growth. It's just a fancy scientific name for it. But and the amino acids that we need are valine, leucine, and isoleucine. And those are what we need to put back into our muscles so that our muscles can actually grow afterwards. So you can take it after your workout. I actually take it during my workout just to speed up the process. That way I don't really get any of that muscle soreness and fatigue feeling that you can tend to get after exercising, especially if you're doing new things. I really hardly ever feel sore, and that's because while I'm working out, I'm already rebuilding back up. And so it's called Amped Recover. They're BCAAs. Perfect, and it tastes really, really good. And I actually mix these two together this is always in my water bottle while I'm working out. So really, really important. The other thing that you can use is nitrates. So nitrates are becoming a really hot topic all of a sudden. People are really talking about them, and nitrates are basically they're found in vegetables. Vegetables get them from the soil. They pull them from the soil. And things like leafy vegetables, beets are really, really nitrate rich, spinach, celery, green leafy vegetables, things like that. And what nitrates actually mix with the enzymes in our saliva, and it circulates in our bloodstream to create nitric acid. And nitric acid is a vasodilator. So what that does is it actually oxygenates our blood so that our blood can flow through our body quicker, easier, and more efficiently. And then that blood is actually providing the nutrients into our muscles so that our muscles can work a little bit harder, and we don't fatigue as quickly while working out. And the other thing it does is it provides a lot of cardiovascular health. So for me, using nitrates has done for me, especially when we moved here, we moved from Michigan to Colorado. So we moved from sea level to altitude, and I had a really hard time breathing. I had to really build up those white blood cells in order to breathe while out here. And so this really, really helped me with that, because it helped to oxygenate my blood and really give me a little bit of boost to my cardiovascular system while I was doing intense workouts. Really anything. I had a really hard time breathing. So what I use, you can do just like a straight up beet juice if you want, or a beet shot, but I do a beetroot shot. This is actually a vegetable and beetroot shot. It's called Amped Knox. So beet juice doesn't always taste the best. For me, it's just like, like taking a shot. I don't think a shot of tequila really particularly tastes good either. So it's just like getting it down. This actually, to me, tastes not that bad. It is still a beetroot vegetable shot, so it's kind of like a sweet V8, but I love it. It's amazing. I can, like, especially during like intense cardio, running, those sorts of things, I can push a lot harder with it. And it just makes me feel like I'm not gasping for air or breathing as hard while I'm doing it. I can just give that little bit of push. So this is what I take. And Knox, it's something that you can take every single day just to add really, really good nutrition into your diet. And if you're someone that comes from a family that has a history of having cardiovascular issues, this might be a really good something to add in just, for optimal health, just for really good health. It has nothing to do with working out, but just to really, really boost your cardiovascular system and your heart health. Really good thing to add in. So that is what I do for my nutrition. Again, it is so important when we're working out to focus on our nutrition too. We can't just be working out and thinking that things are going to change. Nutrition plays a huge role in that. So, and you guys have all been working out. You are all athletes, whether you think so or not. Nutrition and nutrient timing is really, really important, and is going to be important in your results. So if you have any questions about any of these things, if you don't have these products and you'd like to ask me questions about them, or you'd like to give them a try, just shoot me an email and I'll be happy to have a conversation with you. Have a great day.